It's Rolando here for Abediona, and I've got a treat for you today. Every time some friends visit us or they are in our area, we take them on what we call the tour, which is a trip in which we visit several interesting locations in Maryland and West Virginia. So right now my wife is driving, and so yeah, join us as we head down the road. Okay, we're on our way to our first site. This is the beautiful environment here. This is the trail up to the Washington Monument. Not, of course, the Washington Monument down in Washington, D.C., but the real Washington Monument, the highest and oldest Washington Monument in the United States. That's where we're going now. Along the trail to the Washington Monument, they have these signs where they mention several milestones in the life of George Washington. This is a section of the trail that intersects the Appalachian Trail here. There goes the Appalachian Trail. And over there, at the end of this trail, there it is, the Washington Monument. So the Washington Monument was built by the citizens of the town of Boonsboro in Maryland in 1827. And although the monument is 40 feet high, it is on top of a mountain. So from the sea level to the tip of the monument, it is more than 1,400 feet. So the Washington Monument in Washington, D.C. is 555 feet. But because this one is on top of the mountain, it is the highest. I said highest, not tallest. It is the highest Washington Monument in the United States. This monument was eventually turned into a state park in 1934, and it was restored by the Civilian Conservation Corps in 1936. So there you have it, the Washington Monument, the real Washington Monument. And here is the original plaque of the monument. There it is. Erected in memory of Washington in 1827 by the citizens of Boonsboro. Okay, so now we are gonna go into the Washington Monument. There we go. These stairs are cramped. It's a really small space. But we're climbing to the top. Okay. Okay, we have reached the top of the Washington Monument. Look at that view. That's amazing. You can see the Maryland countryside to the west. Wow. And over here, you can see more to the east. That's in the direction of Frederick over there. It's a beautiful day, and this is a beautiful view. Okay, so that was the Washington Monument. Now we are on our way to Boonsboro, and from there we'll head to Shepherdstown in West Virginia. Okay, we're in the town of Boonsboro, and we're gonna be turning left here to go to Shepherdstown. Look at that design there on the wall. Okay, we're on our way. Okay, we are approaching the Maryland-West Virginia border. This is the James Rumsey Bridge over the Potomac River. We're here in Shepherdstown. Our first stop is going to be the Blue Moon Cafe. This here is the Blue Moon Cafe. This restaurant in Shepherdstown, West Virginia, was established by Craig and Charmaine King in 1999. They describe it as having a eclectic, slightly bohemian atmosphere, and it has a lot of free range and organic choices for the food, as well as ingredients sourced from local farmers market. This is one of our favorite restaurants, and it's part of the tour, and we're gonna go have lunch there today. All right. Okay, so let's go in to the Blue Moon Cafe. This is the entrance. This is the seating area out in the back of the Blue Moon restaurant. Look at that. This is amazing. Eating here is an amazing experience. And one of the things about this restaurant is that it has a stream. It has a stream running through the middle of it. The town run. So yeah, a river runs through it. We are here at the Blue Moon restaurant, and I ordered a beer, the Big Timber IPA. I'm gonna try it. Very good. And this restaurant was featured in a book. The book is called The 7 Secret Keys to Startup Success. In the book, the mysterious fashion heiress Scarlett meets the vulnerable Professor Scooter McGee for a romantic dinner in this restaurant. And it is very easy to have a romantic dinner in this restaurant. Okay, this is the hummus platter. That looks good. This is the appetizer. All right. Okay, this is my meatloaf sandwich. And this is Lucy's quiche. That looks good. Here they have a tortoise and some really nice tulips. And there is a sculpture here of a heron. The Blue Moon also has a little outside seating area where you can sit down for a while and chill out. And this is the town run. This stream flows from a spring and goes all the way down there under the street into the Blue Moon. Okay, and now we are headed to the Rumsey Monument. And this is the Rumsey Monument. It is a granite column, 75 feet high, that at the top has a globe of the world, and you can see the outlines of continents. There you can see South America, the Gulf of Mexico, Central America, and Florida. So we are now climbing up to the Rumsey Monument. This monument was made in honor of a local inventor called James Rumsey. He performed a public demonstration of a steamboat he had built, sailing it on the Potomac River in 1787. James Rumsey was a well-connected man whose supporters included George Washington, and a society was established to promote his work and inventions called the Rumseyan Society, of which Benjamin Franklin was one of the members. Here is one of the plaques on the monument to James Rumsey, inventor of the first steamboat. This is the other plaque. It features an image of Rumsey there sailing his steamboat up the Potomac River. To commemorate the sailing of his steamboat, the first steamboat on the Potomac, the West Virginia government and other associations financed the building of this monument, which was completed in 1916. And the area today is a public park. And this wooden structure displays the outline of West Virginia with the words "Almost Heaven." That is from the famous John Denver song, Country Roads, Take Me Home. It's over there too, and behind it there is a swing for a photo opportunity. Almost Heaven, West Virginia. Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River, like John Denver sang. Here comes the train. This railroad line is operated by the Norfolk Southern Railway Company, and it is right next to the James Rumsey Monument Park. that was a long train. That train took 5 minutes to pass this location. Okay, now we're headed down to the Potomac to Riverfront Park. We are at Riverfront Park. And this river here is the Town Run. This is the same river that flows through the Blue Moon Cafe. And it flows all the way down here to the Potomac River. We are here at Riverfront Park next to the Potomac River. And these pillars here is the only thing that remains of the original covered bridge, wooden covered bridge in Shepherdstown that was built in 1850. This bridge was 600 feet long and it crossed the Potomac from one side to the other. This bridge was burned down by the troops of Confederate General Stonewall Jackson in 1861. Now, a second wooden covered bridge was built in 1871, but it was destroyed by a flood in 1889. A third bridge was then built made out of iron upstream from here, but that bridge was also destroyed by a flood in 1936. Eventually, a concrete bridge was built in 1939, and it was replaced by the modern bridge that you see back there in 2004, which is the James Rumsey Bridge. But one of the things I find interesting about these pillars is the trees. Look at that. Those trees are growing on top of the pillars. This pillar is half gone, and that tree also has that pillar also has more trees. Look at that. The perseverance of life. And over here at Riverfront Park, there are many lovely bluebell flowers. Look at that. These are all bluebells. Here, let's take a closer look at the bluebells. This path is lined with bluebell flowers, and you can see here the walls of the bluff of the Potomac River here next to Shepherdstown. And there is a goose here blocking our path. Hey buddy, you have to share the road. Oh, there he goes. Okay. And here is another view of the Potomac River. And here are the three pillars. Those are the remnants of the Shenandoah Valley Railroad Bridge, the three pillars that used to support that bridge. It was constructed in the 1800s, and it was the first railroad bridge at Shepherdstown here. Now the bridge was eventually replaced by the more modern one on the other side. But these pillars still remain. And look at that, there are trees growing on these pillars. actual trees. There's one, and there's another. I mean, life, the majority of the times, life finds a way. And these flowers here are called Dutchman Breeches. Look at that. And now we're going towards O'Hurley's General Store. This is O'Hurley's General Store. The store is more than 100 years old. The current owner, Ye, was born upstairs in 1941. The store has a collection of antiques and old-fashioned trinkets. And every Thursday night there is a folk music jam session, and anyone can come and play as long as they bring their own instrument and play public domain music. O'Hurley's General Store. Hello. Hi, Murphy. This is Murphy, the cat of O'Hurley's General Store. Look at that. One of the cool things about O'Hurley's is that it's a place where you can just come and sit down and chill out. And now we are on our way to Gathland State Park. We are here at Gathland State Park. This place is on the Appalachian Trail, and it was created by George Alfred Towson. He was a writer who wrote under the pen name Gath. During the American Civil War, he was a war correspondent reporting for several newspapers, about the war, and he also wrote several successful novels. In 1884, he purchased 100 acres of land here on South Mountain in the site of the Battle of Crampton's Gap, which was a prelude to the bloody Battle of Antietam. This site is near the town of Burkittsville, which gained some unwanted fame in the 1999 film The Blair Witch Project. Now, Towson built several buildings in this site, which he called Gathland. And the most famous he built in 1896, and it's called the War Correspondents Arch. And we're gonna go see that structure, which is down there behind that house, in a minute. This is the War Correspondents Arch. It was made in 1896 by Towson in honor of all the journalists who covered the Civil War. As you can see, this is an asymmetrical monument. It has some battlements there at the top. There you can see the sculpture of two horses. Here you have these arches, the words War Correspondence. There is a statue of Mercury there. And there are two other statues, one that says Speed and the other that says Need. The War Correspondents Arch. On this side of the memorial, there is a plaque with the names of all the war correspondents who covered the Civil War, both from the north and from the south. Here is another view of the War Correspondents Arch. And there you can see the shadow cast by the sun. Look at that. This is really one of the most unusual and coolest memorials I have ever seen. And look at this redbud tree. That's amazing. Now Towson also built these structures here. There's an arch there. And here is a mausoleum. When he died, he intended to be buried here. This was going to be his tomb. And he even put an inscription on top that says, "Good night, Gath." But his wife died and he went into a depression. And he also ran into very serious financial problems. So he had to sell Gathland. He had to sell this place, and he moved to New York to live with some family up there, and he died there and is now buried in Philadelphia and Pennsylvania. So the best laid plans of mice and men. Okay, so now we are headed to Rocky Point Creamery. where we will have some ice cream. All right. This is the Rocky Point Creamery over here. They have throughout the year in a rotating fashion 120 flavors of ice cream, and they obtain the milk for their ice cream that they make here from a herd of 130 cows that they feed by farming 600 acres of land here. These people have been farming the land since 1883, and they have some great ice creams. We're gonna go try some of them now. Okay, here we ordered our ice creams at Rocky Point Creamery. I got chocolate because you can never go wrong with chocolate. And she ordered mint chip. All right. At the Rocky Point Creamery, they've got seats in the shapes of cows. All right. Okay, this is the end of the video about the tour. I hope you found it interesting. Please remember to like and subscribe, and as usual, I'll see you in my next video down the road.